and I'm going to post on my website. So in case you need it, you could refer to it, right? Several things. So this data camp project starts, as you know, in May, right? So you're going to listen to what I have to say. You're going to decide if something that you want to do, or if you like it, you don't like it. Then I think you have to go back to Bill, sign some kind of letter. You're going to be called an associate. And then we'll do the project for the summertime. Now, let me start at the end so that we have a vision here. The goal of the project is to have an app, right? So what do you gain from it? A, you could put on your resume that you participated in this project. That's one thing, right? This is not so much of a research. I need an end result here. And because this is an end result that could benefit the university, we'll have some support, right? The second thing is, it's a project. It is not a classroom. It is not a course. I'm not going to hold your hand here, right? I'm going to tell you what we're looking to do. I'm going to give you an idea. I'm going to provide resources to you, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you're the kind of student, and unfortunately, you're at a disadvantage, right? Because when you go to class, you go in, you sit down, they tell you when to sit, when to get up, they tell you what to study, they give you the test, and they judge you on this, the test or whatever. This is not like that, right? This is preparing you what's waiting for you out there, right? And what's waiting for you out there is, you got to get things, you got to make things happen with a bunch of different people. What's interesting with this project is that it's going to expose you to the next thing. And let me explain to you what the next thing is. So we had the internet, right? So you know what that's about. Then we had social network, right? So you know what that's about. What you may not realize is, who cares if you had lunch today with this person? Why are you sending pictures to all these people? What you're doing? I mean, I never had a desire to do that. Why is it that you're doing it? Well, Facebook, the guy was pretty smart. He said, you know what? I think people want to know what's happening and share to the rest of the world, because now we're all connected into this whole thing. And it worked. And it's even a fantastic business model, because he was able, believe it or not, each time you go up, and you probably know that since a lot of you are computer science, whenever you're on this thing and you're entering information, you're giving him data for free. You tell him what you like, what you don't like, who you like, what they look like, and they all process it and they sell it back to you for free. You should be paid for that information that you're giving, but it's working. The next thing is what we call Web3. The next thing is what we call gamify, where now you're getting paid, quote unquote, to do certain tasks. What? You're going to give me money? No, I'm going to give you tokens. What can I do with the tokens? That's no value. Beg to differ. Do you think your dollar bill has any value on its own? It's only what it could buy you. If I were to tell you that if you do certain things for me, right, and you get enough coin, and I get you an interview with Goldman Sachs, there's a value there, right? Yet all I want you to do is I want you to walk around and tell 5 students things that they don't realize about the next class, or help out or whatever, right? And we're creating our own currency. That is kind of what we're trying to do. Unfortunately, I don't know what we're going to be doing. All I know is we are going to look for a need. So I'm going to need a bunch of people to work on that. I'm going to need a bunch of people to work on the blockchain component, because there is a trading mechanism that's happening, right? You're going to be buying some tokens. And because it's blockchain, hopefully you'll get to learn more about it, but basically because of blockchain, it's your own, right? You could do whatever you want with that information, which is a wonderful thing about blockchain. It's secured, right? And then I will need a team to work on the app. So I need 3 different type of people in the invitation. You will see a bunch of questions, and you know, are you a doer? Are you blah blah blah? Then at the end, you will send me. You have a week to think about it, right? You have a week to think about, okay, what is this guy trying to do? What is the goal here? Blah, blah, blah. By the end of the week, send me like a pager as to answer the question and see what your vision, what you think your vision is. And more important, like I do with all of my project in the Master in Financial Engineering, is what are you going to do? If you're not a coder, that's okay. I mean, I'm going to need coding and I need blockchain people. But I also need people to say, okay, what is a student interested in, right? Is, for example, but whatever it is, it has something to do with Lehigh, right? And then your name will forever be associated with this app, because what the app is going to do is, I don't know what it's going to do, but I will say that it will entice students to do certain things, to get paid, maybe to exchange whatever they have to get something. Well, that's something I need you for that, because I'm kind of on the other side of the fence. I don't know what motivates you. I mean, I know you want to grade and you want to graduate, but what really motivates you, right? And that's something you need to think about. No, you might not all think about it. You may say, I don't know. All I know is I love to code. What I know is I love blockchain. Well, that's okay, because then when we get to your level, it's okay, this is what we're trying to do. We want to build a blockchain that's going to do this. And that's why I sent you a bunch of links. One of them is an exchange, blockchain exchange, which we could use. I don't think it's cheap. It's not expensive to exchange tokens, really. And I sent you a list of what Web3 is. I want you to start thinking about what that thing is. If you don't know anything about it, that's perfect, because I don't want you to expose something to you that you know already. You're not going to learn anything. Now, of course, you have to be the kind of student or project participant that says, okay, I don't understand anything, I'm confused, but I like it. That is the kind of people that are going to do well in a project like that, because you're going to need to look for things. You're going to need to, I gave you a startup, right? Something to start with, but you're going to need to think about, okay, what motivates students? What other people have done? What is the best platform? And blah, blah, blah. And then we'll start to put a plan together, and we're going to start developing it and producing it. Now, the advantage is we have lots of people. The disadvantage, we have lots of people, right? Because we have to really, really break it down. Now, not everyone, I'm pretty sure not everyone's going to make it, because some of you are going to either figure out, so summertime, I'm getting involved in this stupid thing. I don't understand what it is. I'm not getting paid for it. What's the point? So you're going to drop out. The only people that are going to remain are the people, okay, there's something going on and there's value to me. And it's not a dollar value, right? It's a value that when you go in front of you're getting interviewed and you say, yeah, I develop an app, Web3, really, you gamify, blah, blah, blah. I've got students working, got jobs, not at Goldman, not at Morgan Stanley, or not at Google, but something called like, what is it called? Sportfi or whatever, Sportfi. And what they do is they, they monitor games and figure out who's gonna, targets the odds. Because what I do also is I manage a Master in Financial Engineering project, and I think one of my students is in here somewhere. 2 students actually. And what we do is we, we design and build and work with quants. which means financial analysis, engineering, math. So we're trying to put it all together. You know, could work in hedge funds, but you could see back in the back of me, for example, this was a project that we worked on. Anyway, so what I want you to do is I want you to look at the questions that I listed for you. I want you to answer them. Start looking into it. And the way it's going to work is by the end of the week, once you send me, if you don't send me anything, I'm assuming you're not interested. If you send me something, then I'll take a look at what it is. I'll see the needs, right? I think there's a lot for people to do here, quite frankly. In fact, I need more people than less. I mean, I need at least, 4 people just sit down and say, okay, what would interest students? What would you do? What would you be willing to do to get that, whatever that is? I don't know yet, right? Now, what I can bring to the table is the following. I have worked on other projects with Ethereum, with people like Carnegie Mellon that are now have their own shop. I'm in touch with Token Metrics, which is a blockchain hedge fund. In fact, that idea originally came with a discussion with the founder, and not the founder, I think it's the CEO or COO. And at some point, I will bring these people in, say, hey, look what I'm doing. Can you provide some advice? I'm also very close to Professor Korth. Anyone who knows Professor Korth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm in the right audience. If you're talking to him, you're talking blockchain. So you're kind of in the same, and he teaches for my program as well. So I have access to him. I have access to Zane, who's developing his own DeFi space. I have access to Sam Monak at Token Metrics and a bunch of other guests. In fact, one of his director of research is going to work on my conference in November. So I got people I could reach out to, but I don't want to reach out to them with nothing, right? So I need to see what you guys can work on your own. Now, it does not mean, and this is important, that you can't reach out yourself. In fact, you're going to have to. You're not going to sit in front of your laptop and say, okay, what do you want me to do? Oh, I know. Let me start doing it. No, I mean, it's not that simple. So very simply, because I know it's Saturday, I will answer some of your questions if you have any. If there are no questions, you need to look at the questions that I have in the invite, and then I want you to answer those questions. Well, the most important one has the one to do with your vision. What do you think we should be doing? Now, of course, some people are going to want to pull this way. Some people are going to pull that way. I'll kind of decide, but obviously, if everybody wants to pull one way, let's do it. Okay, you're supposed to learn from this process. Obviously, it depends if you're working full-time or not full-time. That's why I need to know how much availability you have, depending, because you may have a great skill, but you may not be full-time. You may be just part-time. So we need to understand how that's going to work. What are you going to get out of this project? First good question. Will we be meeting in person this summer via Zoom? And that's the reason why I'm asking you, are you going to be on campus or not? Technically speaking, you're supposed to be on campus. And by that, I mean that the way Data Camp works, in fact, what you're seeing in the back of me is one of the posters we had last year. You're going to design a poster like that as well for this project. And we had one last year. So the way it's supposed to work is, I think every 2 weeks, you're supposed to present. At the very least, the fellows are supposed to present, and there's a associate every 2 weeks, a fellow every week. I'm not so sure exactly how often, but you have to let them know what you're working on, what you're doing. There's a lot of attention on this project because it will benefit Lehigh. And anytime it benefits Lehigh, everybody's on it. If you need a book, if you need a resource, you let me know, and I'm pretty sure I could get it to you. Now, if you need to fly to the West Coast to talk, that's not going to happen. But if you want to, when will the project start and how many days a week are we expected to work? Well, depends. Most of you, I think you should think of in this term, because I'll come and pick you if you're going to be a fellow. If it's going to be mostly for the summer, technically, okay? I don't know if we're going to be able to develop something that quickly, but if we're not, I mean, I'm in charge of this thing. We could carry as long. In fact, what I'm thinking of, I will start there. And I think I'll make it one of my projects for my MFE students. And if you're still there, you tag along. I have no issue with that. Okay. I mean, I'm sure most of you are not graduating for the next 2 years, I think. I know some of you, not, I know 75%, I don't know, but I mean, there's plenty of work to be done and you get associated with it. I have, for example, 3 students that work on the PA index, which is going to be, which is also a project, but it's probably halfway done. Well, it's done. It's just now we need to PA of index of PA companies, right? So it's going to be associated with Lehigh, the Lehigh PA index. Right? I think they want to call it the PA 100. So we're getting resources for that. So their name is going to be associated with it. So what you want is you want to learn and you want to make sure people don't forget about you and you want to learn some new skills. That's very important. Okay. Any more questions? Good. You need to do some thinking, but go to the those links. See if those links mean anything to you and say anything to you, and send me your vision by next week.